Call this the scarcity tax. Most people think that if you give a poor person money, their problems are solved. But if you give a lottery winner millions of dollars, they are often broke again within 3 years. Why? Because poverty is not just a lack of cash, it is a lack of cognitive bandwidth. There was a famous study done by Sendhil Mullainathan at Harvard. He found that when your mind is consumed by financial stress, when you are worrying about how to pay the rent or how to fix the car, your effective IQ drops by 13 points. 13 points. That is the same effect as going without sleep for 24 hours or being a functional alcoholic. This means that when you are poor, you are literally operating with a damaged processor. You are trying to solve complex long-term problems with a brain that is in survival mode. You cannot see the future because you are too busy fighting the present. This is the scarcity trap. When you have limited bandwidth, you make bad decisions. You take the high-interest payday loan because you need cash now. You buy the unhealthy food because it's cheap and fast now. You are not stupid. You are just exhausted. And the system knows that. Bandwidth. There was a famous study done by First Loop. I call this First Loop. He buys a cheap pair of boots. But the cheap boots fall apart after 1 year. So next year he has to buy another pair for $10. And the year after that. Over 10 years, the poor man spends $100 on boots. The rich man spent $50. The poor man spent twice as much money and his feet were wet the entire time. This is the mathematics of being poor. It is expensive to be poor. You pay late fees. You pay overdraft fees. You pay higher interest rates. You buy small quantities of toilet paper because you cannot afford the bulk pack, so you pay more per sheet. The system charges you a premium for your lack of capital. So how do we break this first loop? How do we stop the bleeding? You need to build a buffer. Your first financial goal is not to get rich. It is not to buy a house. It is not to invest in the stock market. Your only goal is to save $1,000 or even $500. Put it in a separate account and do not touch it. This money is not for spending. This money is for buying back your brain. When you have a buffer, the car breaking down is just an inconvenience. It is not a disaster. When you have a buffer, you don't have to take the payday loan. You don't have to pay the scarcity tax. You stop reacting to emergencies and you start managing them. That $1,000 buys you something more valuable than gold. It buys you cognitive bandwidth. It restores your IQ. It allows you to sleep. It allows you to look up from the ground and see the horizon. Most people try to jump straight to investing. They skip this step. They are trying to build a skyscraper on a swamp. You must drain the swamp first. You must build a buffer. You must buy the boots that last 10 years. This requires sacrifice. It requires pain. For a few months, you might have to live like a monk, but you are doing it for a reason. You are buying your freedom from the scarcity tax.